All right, Bruce, we're back. We are doing our second reaction together. This one was a request from Chief, who wanted us to do it. He actually had 2 requests, so we're going to do the 2 of them. We're going to start with this first one. The first one is Liquid Swords. And in the comments, Chief said that it was a Woo one. I don't know who else is on the track.
Liquids, I think it's only the GZA.
Okay.
I think that is that's the title track from his first solo album.
All right. So I have probably heard all of these songs that Chief is probably throwing our way, but I just don't remember them by name.
Gotcha.
But when I start hearing the beats and the bars and stuff, I'll remember these tracks.
When I was little, my father was famous. He was the greatest samurai in the empire.
Story time, bro.
It was a bad time for the empire. He never...
Real quick, Bruce, what's the sample? What movie is that from?
That is from Shogun Assassin, which is based on the comic book series. It wasn't even a manga. It was before a manga, but it's based on the Japanese comic book series Lone Wolf and Cub. Okay. And they actually made a TV series off of that.
All right. It's because I was going to say that's the culture right there. That's the reference. Okay.
Sure.
Shogun, but the Shogun was scared of him. Maybe that was the problem.
Sometimes you gotta fast and back. See, niggas don't know where this shit started. Y'all know where it came from.
Oh yeah, I remember this beat, bro. I do.
I knew you would.
Yeah.
Hold on, bro, real quick. I know who sampled this too. Mos Def sampled this.
Did he?
A sick ass version of this.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna have to. We'll react to that one later.
Okay.
Tell it about the names and to perform. Some had to snort cocaine to act insane. But the more heat rock it on, my minimum table stacks the first on a gamble. Energy is felt.
Made noise sound effects though. All that.
Yeah.
Classic RZA, and then he's all in the track.
Yeah, which is crazy because by then, like, they had money by then. This is
95.
What did he have? 95. This is the 3rd solo album.
Yeah.
So they were good by now. So it's not like they were still recording.
They had the connections. They had the label studio support, right?
Yeah, real equipment and all that.
It's just doing the sound effects.
But if you know, it's like from the beginning, one thing with RZA, because he's a pure MC and from the battle rap era, so much of his reference in these bars is like to actually the sport of rapping against somebody. Like, that's what he talks about from the beginning. And I love that. And, you know, that's an era thing. That's the era I'm from. But I love that because you take it seriously. It's competition. Who's the nicest?
Yeah. All right, man.
Impact of roundhouse kicks from black belts that attack. The white bones like energy is felt once the chords dealt. With the impact of roundhouse kick midnight to hide to perform. Rock it on, now on with the mental plane. Just to spark the brain with the building to be born.
Sure.
I think musically the guys understand there has to be some kind of like a harmony, some kind of like a cadence. So they did that, I think, with the ending word in there, right?
Yeah,
through the plane, like they followed up the sound a couple of times with each of those, because they don't really do hooks, right? Like these guys don't always really do that, like a traditional chorus.
Right.
But I think RZA understood sonically how things need to have some kind of a musical component to them outside of just bars. You know,
absolutely, and that's one thing. Like the best producers understand, no matter what part of the country, wherever they come from, the best producers always understand music, right? And as you mentioned, the understanding of how things need to work sonically. And also, and this is kind of endemic of the best producers from that era, this was in the 90s, which had RZA growing up in the 60s and 70s, right? And most people, well, most older people will tell you that was some of the most classic eras of actual music. So you're growing up with Motown and all these different type of sounds. So you have a lot of soul samples, a lot of amazing things to sample from. Like if you listen to guys like Pete Rock and Eric Sermon and all these, you know, high level producers from back then, that's why the music sounds so different, because they had totally different musical influences that they were sampling from.
Hold up. Let me go back a little bit.
To be born, yo, the RZA flip the track with the what? I'm on a mission that niggas say is impossible. Vaccinated, my logo is branded in your skin. When the MCs came to live out the name.
Okay, I want to reference back to the bar when he was talking about, he said small exit like a funnel.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wide
Like,
entrance, small exit.
yeah,
Like,
why? Who would think of something like that? That's so random, bro.
so RZA's a really deep, not RZA, GZA is a really deep dude. And he, like, you hear it in some of the other stuff that he does on later albums and whatnot. Apparently, he was doing his own study on like astrophysicism and stuff like that. So he's really like into science and all that stuff. And yeah, he's that type of dude.
Yeah. He seems like the type of dude that would be focusing on experimental design. You know what I mean? And stuff and engineering and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool, bro. I dig it. All right.
Lyrics is weak like clock radio.
Yeah, I heard that one too. Yeah.
So deep it's picked up on radios and tunnels. Niggas are fascinated how the shit begin. Get vaccinated, my logo is branded in your skin. On at the mental plane, just to spark your brain in the building.
Oh, this was interesting that it only had 2 verses when, you know, the typical the typical format for a hip hop song even now is, you know, 3 verses and 3 breaks. So I did think that was interesting. And then what I also thought was interesting on the hook is when he says some had to snort cocaine to act insane. And I wonder if he's referring to anybody in particular. And then he says before Pete rocked it on. And that's, you know, obviously
that's like bar.
reference to the great, you know, Chocolate Boy Wonder, Pete Rock. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
One of the better producers of hip hop history.
Yeah.
But yeah, curious to know if he was referring to anybody in particular.
I think he may have been referring to his own people, bro. His own guys in the group. Remember, there was a lot of substance abuse in the recordings.
Meth admits that he used to smoke dust. So, yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah. And I think there was a lot of that, bro. And that's where some of the creative juices got going. You know, like that's a thing with artists in general.
Yes.
You know, so it's not unique to Wu-Tang.
No.
You know, I heard.
Or hip-hop.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of great artists were... we know Ray Charles was a dope head for a while, for many years, you know. So, yeah. And that's I'm not trying to disrespect, you know, great Ray Charles, but
but it's common. It's a common theme, you know. Sometimes that's where they drew inspiration. That's where they got creativity. It allowed them to think outside the box. It got them being crazy, whatever. But Bruce, the GZA had bars, clever, crafty. He doesn't need help going around a track.
No,
at all. His flow was pretty smooth. His delivery was solid. He was on point with everything. Seems pretty skilled. Production wise, the RZA brought a good beat to the table. Clean drums. Actually, there was I remember the first time I heard this. This is years ago. I thought the beat was gonna change and do something different. Because it almost seems like a countdown or something that that guitar pick or whatever he's doing there. I thought it was gonna like change, but he like kept the same, you know, few notes. Yeah, and I think he does that because of the simplicity for the use of hip hop, right? So you need the beat to remain stable, so that the bars are the focus, you know, and then the lyrics are the focus and the content of what they're saying.
And RZA does have some beats that are clearly more complex, but on this one, you know, he kept it simple and let GZA do his thing. Yeah.
All right, so 1 down for Chief, 1 more to go. We still got to do shadow boxing. All right, Bruce, we're gonna do the next.
Shadow boxing is my.
Let's do it then, bro.